Welcome back, everyone. It is January 22nd, Wednesday in the NBA, a big slate of action. And today, 5 plays in this video. We'll dive into each of them in just one moment. As always, my name's Austin. We dive into a recap of how we did the day before. Lost our winning streak. We had 3 straight winning days yesterday, 1 today. I can make some excuses here. Tyrese Maxey doesn't play in the fourth, so a little bit lucky there. He ends with 3. I didn't watch much of the Lakers-Wizards game. Jordan Poole, I know he had 12 at halftime, went 1 of 8 in the second half, 5 of 18. Not much I'm going to do. I'm not going to complain. 5 of 18. We had 18 shots. Just didn't make them. Scotty Barnes, though, the one that kind of pissed me off. He had 14 at halftime. We needed 20. Couldn't come through. He finally gets a play ran for him in the fourth quarter. Lines up the 3, drills it, gets the 20 points. Nope. Kelly Olynyk, moving screen, take away the basket. Just painful. I'm out on the Raptors. The team sucks. I'm sorry, Raptors fans. You guys don't deserve that. That team is terrible. They are one of the worst teams to watch in the NBA. I'm out. Scotty Barnes, I tried to give you a chance. No, you do not respect coin. I'm out. But either way, we got 5 plays today. Let's pick up the momentum. We got 5 winners, hopefully locked and loaded for you all. We're going to dive into them in just one moment. Let's just do it. Like and subscribe if you're new. Here we go. The first one, guy on the thumbnail, the Greek Freak. Love is over in points tonight at 29.5. I played that at minus 125. I don't take points lines above minus 130 when you get into above 15 or more points. It's just not worth it. So I would take the 30.5 if that's the case for you. 31.5, I don't love it really there. I'd play that maybe for a half unit, but not my favorite at 31.5. But 29.5, 30.5, I still like it there. I think Giannis dominates tonight. Now, let's talk about his matchup. He's going to be on the road in New Orleans taking on the Pelicans. Now, some injury news here. The Bucks are going to be down AJ Green. AJ Green is not a well-known guy, but he's their best three-point shooter. And I feel like when Giannis gets those big assist games, he's passing it out to guys like AJ Green. Now that they don't have that, I don't know if he's as willing of a passer. And while Giannis still will be passing it to some guys, but I feel like if he has the choice between getting into the paint or passing out to Pat Connaughton, feel like he's going to choose probably to go get the easy 2, which I think he has plenty of tonight. Now let's talk about Giannis, who on the season, this is at 30.5, 29.5, not a big difference there. Right, I guess 1 or 2 games where he ends with 30 on the dot, but over 19 of his last 30 games been pretty consistent. What you really like to see is number 1 scoring method in transition. This is a Pelicans team that struggles there. And we look at where Giannis scores his points, 73% in the restricted area. Well, this is a team in the Pelicans, second worst defense in the restricted area, also giving up the second most shots in the restricted area. They can't stop guys in the paint. They are giving up. They're right near the bottom of the pack in paint defense. They really can't stop guys to get in the paint, and that's what Giannis does, and he has absolutely destroyed them. I don't know if he has a vendetta out against them, but look at his numbers. His last 8 games against New Orleans, 38 points per game, 30 plus in every single one of these games. And then you look at the last 4, 35, 30 in a game they didn't even play 30 minutes in, 50, 42. He is absolutely feasted on them. I don't know what they did to him, but again, it doesn't really matter to me. He has a great matchup here on the road. I think the Pelicans have been playing a lot faster recently with Zion in the lineup and with other guys there. They're playing fast, which is good for us. More possessions, more opportunities for Giannis to score. I love having Chris Middleton back. While he is a capable scorer, also Chris takes a lot of playmaking responsibilities out of Giannis's hands. So you can see Giannis and Chris kind of do their 2-man game. If Giannis gets inside the paint, I think it's an easy bucket. This is a team that doesn't have a lot of rim protection. Daniel Tice has been starting. That's a disaster. I think Giannis absolutely feasts on this team. So give me his over in points as my first play of the day. I think it's a smash spot. I don't love taking star overs, but again, I think that line's way too low. We'll roll with Giannis. Second play is going to be a role player. You've probably never heard of this guy, and if you have, maybe you watch this team a good amount, but he's pretty unknown. That's Ryan Dunn, the rookie, over 8.5 points. The Suns rookie. He has been quietly coming onto the scene recently since he entered the starting lineup. The Suns obviously have not looked great. They're coming off a blowout where they got smoked by the Cavs. Now they're on the road taking on the Brooklyn Nets in Brooklyn, who are on a back-to-back. Now, I love the spot for Ryan Dunn, and you might be like, who the heck's this guy? Like I said, he is a rookie. He is more of a spot-up guy. I think it's a great spot for him. Now, if you look at Ryan Dunn, who on the season, the numbers haven't been great for him, but a lot of those games he's been off the bench. I mean, if you look at his numbers, a lot of these games, 11 of 30, that's not great. But let's just more look at when he entered the starting lineup, which would be these games. Averaging 10.1 points per game in the starting lineup, over an 8 of 14. More specifically, recently, he's come on. He's over in 5 of his last 6. Some of these games have been without Bradley Beal, but I honestly can't guarantee Bradley Beal plays tonight. Bradley Beal, we just saw the Suns trade for 3 first-round picks Bradley Beal could be on his way out today. Would not shock anyone. But again, you look at the field goal times. He's been pretty consistent here. 8 shots here, only 5 here against the Hornets, but 12, 12, 13, only 7 shots here. Not a great spot for him. But again, as I said, spot up shooters against the Nets destroy them. They rank 27th against spot up shooters, 27th in transition. What they're really good at, you're looking at D-Book, really good at limiting guys in the pick and roll. First against the ball handler. If you go to guys like Nick Richards, they're 5th against the guys rolling to the hoop. So again, those spot up shooters, like a guy like Ryan Dunn, should get some opportunities here. If you want some value, I actually looked at taking his over in threes, which is 1.5 plus 130. You might get better value, plus 145. I don't hate that one. But again, I just prefer his over in points. He's good at getting to the hoop. Well, he's not going to get a lot of, hey, Ryan Dunn, go create your own shot. Guys like Durant, Booker will create some opportunities for him. I think he's wide open in the corner. We just need him to knock down some shots. Good in transition, good at going and getting offensive rebounds, putting it back in. Probably has an undersized guard on him because he probably gets D'Angelo Russell on the offensive side of the ball, having to guard him. I think it's a great spot for him. I'll take his over in points at 8.5. Unknown guy, but hey, unknown guys tend to pay. It's harder to price a guy like that than it is to kind of price, the star players. I really like his over in points. My third play is going to be a guy that has had a bad season. Let's get it out of the way. Julius Randle. I do like his over tonight at 18.5 points. Now, people are going to look at taking his rebounds, taking his assists, rebounds plus assists. I don't hate that, but I think it's a much better spot for Julius Randle scoring the basketball than getting rebounds and assists against the Mavericks. Now, I don't know what Giannis, the New Orleans Pelicans, did to him. Very clear why Julius Randle plays well against the Mavericks. I'll touch on that in a second, but let's first touch on Julius Randle so far this season. Now, it hasn't been a good season. We know that. He could be honestly on his way out of Minnesota soon. It wouldn't shock really anyone. So have more incentive, maybe play him, boost up his stats. Obviously, he hasn't looked great recently. But again, this feels like a spot. We've seen 34 minutes in their last game, 38 here. Feel pretty confident with Dante DiVincenzo out. You're probably getting a consistent 30 minutes from him, over in 20 of 30 games when he sees 30 or more minutes. What I really like is the matchup. His last 10 games against the Dallas Mavericks. I mean, look at his numbers. 28 points per game. Over in all of these games, 21 or more points in all the games. That includes both games this year. He scored 23 points here. Oops, wrong button. Oh, no, these are all games at Dallas. My mistake. Last 10 games at Dallas. He is over in both games against the Dallas Mavericks this year if you go head-to-head, 20 and 23 points. But at Dallas is what I'm really looking at. I was confused because I knew he had 2 against the Mavericks this year. But again, at Dallas. Why is that important? Because, you Google where is Julius Randle from? He's from Dallas, Texas. He normally has friends and family in the game, at the stadium, at the arena. He normally shows up in Dallas. So I'm not just betting it just because I think, he's at Dallas, it's got to take it, system play. But again, you look at kind of how he scores his points, not a terrible match for him. Free throws, he's got size against a lot of these Mavericks defenders. Spot up shooting, he has been pretty bad shooting the ball recently. If you look at last game, he went 2 of 13, 0 for 7 from 3. But again, transition, I'm not counting on him there. Post up, I think he gets plenty of opportunities there. Isolation too. What I really like is they're a pretty good team against the pick and roll ball handlers. That's exactly what we want. We don't want Anthony Edwards going off on him. I like Julius Randle a lot. With no Dante, this team doesn't really have a lot of scoring. Rudy Gobert doesn't score. Mike Conley, not a big scorer either. They need scoring. And Ant-Man can do his thing. Naz Reid, not a great spot for him. I think it's a good spot for Julius Randle. So give me his over in points for 18.5. I think it's a low line given how he's played recently. Like I said, you can take the rebounds and assists. I'm not going to count on Julius Randle giving me rebounds and assists. I'd rather just take the points. I think the points is the right way to go. Fourth way of the day. We're going to a parlay. 2 legs. Here we go. 2-leg parlay. Here are these two fellas. Mark Williams of the Charlotte Hornets to score 10 or more points. James Harden of the LA Clippers, 20-plus points. Minus 119 on FanDuel, a 1-unit play. I'd probably play this parlay up to about minus 130. It's probably about as high as I'd go. Individual lines, I like both of them. I like James Harden more. And I'm honestly hopeful that this just comes down to James Harden. I'm using Mark Williams in there as hopefully just a guy that can reduce our Harden line because that's kind of all I'm really looking for. Now, we'll begin talking about Mark Williams, who's been, since being lifted off his minutes restriction, been pretty dang good. Now, you look at Mark Williams, and this is John Morant in the same game, Memphis versus the Charlotte Hornets. Mark Williams has been pretty good. And really, you could look at the whole season. He's been pretty good at getting the 10 points. It's mostly these last few games. 24, 31, 19, only 13 points here, shot 5 of 14, was in a lot of foul trouble. Again, he's going to play a lot of minutes. Now, these games have been close. This game could be a blowout. Wouldn't really shock anyone. But you look at this Grizzlies team, he scores 83% of his points in the restricted area. They're an okay paint defense. Sure, they have JJJ down there, Zach Edey, those guys, but we see him getting a lot of opportunities where he's getting the ball right around this 15% number. It's kind of where he gets the ball. He's able to drive, lay it in, get some alley-oops and stuff like that. He's been pretty consistent. I'll trust him there. Now, really what I hope this comes down to is James Harden. Now, James Harden's at home taking on the Clippers. I don't expect a lot of people to like James Harden's matchup. I think it's a great one, though. Coming off a game 5 of 17, they get lost by 13 to the Bulls. No one's going to be on the Clippers spread today. I think the Clippers keep this game tight. Now, the reason I dropped James Harden from 21.5, you see that here, down to 19.5 is because you see 11 of 30 games. He's hit, over this line, 21.5. Drop it down 2 points, 17 of 30. He's landed on 20 or 21 points 6 different times. Now, something that gives me pause, you go down to 18.5. He's landed on 19 points on the dot 5 different times. So that could come back to hurt us if he lands on 19, whatever. But again, we look at how he scores in isolation, where the Celtics rank 29th, and pick and roll ball handler, where they rank 26th. Now, the one concern is the free throws. The Celtics do not give up a lot of free throws, third best there. But also, I feel like if you've ever watched a Celtics game at home, I don't know. If you're a Boston fan, you can attest to this. They don't get called on fouls at home. I don't know if they're paying the refs off. At home in Boston, you ain't getting a foul call to save your life. In LA, maybe we see a more friendly whistle to the home team. Wouldn't shock me at all. But again, I really think this is a good spot for both of these two fellas. I like both their overs and points. I like Harden obviously more because his line's at 21.5. So we're obviously taking a lot more risk with him. But I think Mark Williams gets us 10 points. Then we have to wait for James Harden to get us 20 plus points. Like I said, I think he gets you 21.5. I'd just rather not ask him. He loves ending on 20 or 21 points. I think he dominates, though. He has had normally when you ask him to show up against the Clippers or against the Celtics, he normally does. Earlier this season, though, was one of his games where he scored 19. Norm Powell and Kawhi missed there, whatever. He's kind of getting doubled there. They lost by 32 points. I think they keep this game tight. I know that sounds crazy, but I think James Harden plays well tonight. Give me his over. Now, our final play of the day, making its return. It's going to be day 1 of the ladder challenge, our 5th play of the day. I'll keep it short and simple. We'll figure out what we want to do. I won't do it until later this afternoon, so stay tuned for that. Maybe looking at some of the other games that we haven't touched on, so stay tuned. I really hated yesterday's slate, but I like today's slate a lot more. A lot of games to choose from. We got some opportunity. We'll bring back the ladder challenge. I'll be my 5th play of the day. As always, I recommend playing the ladder for 1 unit and plus the $10. So I don't know what your unit size is. If your unit size is only $10, that might be a little bit tricky, but if it's more than that, you should be fine. As I say in the beginning of the video, wrong button. If you play the ladders each for 1 unit, you're up 4.79 units. So you don't even have to do the rollover. They've been pretty good to us this season. So hopefully we can dominate and get back to the winning ways. We've been pretty good in the NBA. 15-10 is not the worst record ever. That's actually pretty good, assuming all the plays are around plus 100. We'll stay tuned for that day 1 of the ladder challenge, our 5th play of the day. We'll be live later on today. I'll put it down below in the pinned comment once it is live. Again, you can find it on Twitter, X, Instagram, TikTok's back, all those things. We'll post it there. Again, those are our picks, though. Recap them. Let's do a quick recap. We have Giannis over in points, Ryan Dunn over in points, Julius Randle over in points, our parlay of Mark Williams and James Harden, and then day 1 of the ladder challenge. 5 plays, 5 units. Let's go 5-0, and I'll see you guys back in tomorrow with some more picks. Appreciate you guys always for tuning in. It's Austin. I'm signing out. See you guys tomorrow. Peace. Oh, did I mention? I did mention yesterday that I'd be at San Francisco for the Warriors and Magic game. We might do something pregame. I'm not really sure. DubClub's bringing us out to the game, which is pretty cool. So stay tuned. If you're in the Bay Area, we'll post if we're going to a bar pregame. If you have any bar recommendations close to the new Warriors arena, let us know down below. It's Austin Logan. Well, Logan will be there. We're signing.